Get ready for adventure with the Carroll County 2026 Agritourism Passport. From June through October, explore more than 25 local farms and agricultural events. Eat, play, learn, and support Carroll's agricultural community along the way. Pick up a passport at the Carroll County Visitor Center, or new this year, join the fun digitally through the Let's Rally app. Each stop you visit earns you entries to win exciting prizes. Learn more at carrollgrown.org/agritourism passport 2026.
Bosley, Lucy Bowers, Elizabeth Burns, Trevor Cole, and Riley Dell. This will be Class 1, 18-year-old showmen. Class 2, 18-year-old showmen, including Emily Fritz, David Guyman, Rihanna Granger, Cassidy Lewis, Kylie Medlin, Brooke Owens, Sienna Sanat. Make your way to ringside. All 18-year-old showmen, stay in your show clothes. Again, all 18-year-old showmen, stay in your show clothes. We will do our 18-year-old picture at the backdrop at the conclusion of senior showmanship. Again, all 18-year-olds, stay in your show clothes. We will be taking your last year picture at the backdrop at the conclusion of senior showmanship. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm happy to be back and get into your cattle show today. A really nice way to start off our senior showmanship division. I think we've got a pair of them over here to my left that both do a very good job, and kind of what elevates them above the kids over to my right is just their ring presence and spacing and how they use the space they're allotted with. I think these two individuals did that exceptionally well. I think right here at the end when we pulled that third place young man out, I just wanted to see how these two responded, and I think the young man just got his steer set up a little quicker, and that's kind of what separated the two. The young lady does an excellent job. She's got very good ring presence. She keeps fantastic eye contact. That steer's given her a hard time today. She's had to circle a few times out here, but a really good pair of showmen at the top of this particular class. Congratulations. The young man that comes in third, he does an exceptional job just getting that steer set up. Good job. Or gets that heifer set up. You know, that she's never out of place. He gets her over here, he gets her parked. I think maybe ones at times would maybe want to pull her belly up to just fix her top line, and then maybe just to shop more ring presence. But I think that young man does an exceptional job focusing on the animal and always having his heifer set up in the appropriate position. The young lady comes out next. She does a really good job. I like her ring presence. For me, the steer needed his front feet set up a little bit better at times. Now, the good thing was once you got him there, he pretty much stayed there the whole time, so we can tell he's had a lot of work at home. But again, congratulations, and a steer maybe we just wanted to see those front feet adjusted when we're over here on the profile. As we get on down the line, I think just a couple of things to edit. Maybe some foot placement issues. Maybe the calf is just giving you a hard time today. But really good showman all the way through. Congratulations to our first class as we continue to get on through our showmanship division today.
We would like to congratulate Class 1 senior showmen. First was Trevor Cole, second was Lucy Bowers, and third was Lucas Barnett. Trevor, Lucy, and Lucas Barnett, please be in the makeup area during semifinal heat 1. We may be pulling you back in. Again, we need Trevor, Lucy, and Lucas Barnett to be on standby in the makeup area. We may be pulling seconds and thirds in during our semifinals. Second class of fourth was awarded to Elizabeth Burns, fifth to Nora Bechtel, sixth to Brendan Bosley, seventh to Riley Dell. Entering the ring now is Class 2 senior showman, 18 years old, Emily Fritz, David Guyman, Rhiannon Granger, Cassidy Lewis, Kylie Medlin, Brooke Owens, and Sienna Sanat. Again, 18-year-olds, stay in your show clothes for your picture at the conclusion of the senior showmanship division. We're looking for 17-year-olds to the makeup area, 17-year-olds in Class 3 to the makeup area.
really good trio of young ladies at the top of this class, and I think the young lady that we're going to go ahead and use here, she just does the best with the space she's given, and she's always making sure she's leaving plenty of room ahead of her, and then she's leaving herself plenty of room to work with that steer as we continue to get out here and show. She's really quick to always get him set up. She does an excellent job. Really good place to start this class of seniors. Young lady with the black steer that comes in next. I think when we pulled over here on the profile, one that did an exceptional job just trying to deal with that steer maybe getting too close to that corner and not liking that fan very much. And so, but that's kind of one of those things where we want to see making sure you're aware of where you're at in the ring. We maybe could have stopped a little earlier to get out of that fan, because once we circled and we get him away from that fan, he sets up really well for you. Young lady, you do an excellent job. Just kind of got him too close to that corner there when we got over to the profile. Young lady that's going to come in third. Another one that does an exceptional job keeping that steer set up most of the time. Maybe just not as quick as those two at the top end of this class, but a young lady that does an exceptional job. Young lady comes in fourth, kind of the same situation. She does a really good job getting that steer shown. I think for me, though, just a little bit slower getting that steer set up at times. He wants to act up a little bit. And then as we move on down the line, we've got some cattle that maybe aren't behaving as well today. You know, it's early in the morning. They want to stretch their legs. But again, congratulations on another really good class of seniors. Good job.
Results of Class 2 Senior Showman 18 years old. Kylie Medlin first, Emily Fritz second, Cassidy Lewis third, Sienna Sanat fourth, David Guyman fifth, and Rhiannon Granger sixth. Reading down your program, 256-3174. We will be looking for Kylie, Emily, and Cassidy to be in the makeup area during our semifinal Heat 1. In the ring at this time, we have the following exhibitors: Lillian Bertier, Michaela Comer, Elena Enoff, Libby Green. 4 exhibitors in senior showmanship, age 17. We're looking for Hunter, Tristan Kaiser, Maggie Rabiati, Emma Robertson, and Alyssa Spielman to the makeup area at this time.
Another good group of seniors, and I think our young lady that's going to win, she's battling that fan up there just like that young lady in the last class, and but I think she circles that steer around when he gets out and gets him parked right back up where he needs to be. She does an excellent job. I love her ring presence. I love her body language. I think she's doing a really good job getting that steer shown. Maybe just dealing with some problems. Those steers don't like that fan very much in the corner. The young lady that's going to be second, she also does an excellent job. One that's maybe just not as quick to get those front feet set up, and that's what sorts the pair. But I think this pair at the top, they're close. They both do a very good job. They both have excellent ring presence. Give them both a round of applause for doing an excellent workout here. Young lady with the white steer that's going to come in next, one that has excellent body language. She gets those back feet set up 90% right most of the time. It's just when we're standing over here on the profile, his front feet are a little too far forward for me. I'd like to set those a little farther back into his body to move you up with those first two young ladies. The young lady that rounds off our class, again, this is a deep set. They all do a good job getting their cattle set up. I think for me it's more body language and positioning yourself to the animal compared to those top three. But again, congratulations on another good set of senior showmen.
Congratulations to Class 3 showmen, 17-year-olds. First was awarded to Lillian Bertier, second to Michaela Comer, third to Elena Enoff, fourth to Libby Green. We will see Lillian, Michaela, and Elena in the makeup area. When we get to Class 7, Senior Showmanship semifinal. In the ring at this time, I have 5 17-year-old showmen, including Hunter Huff, Tristan Kaiser, Maggie Rabiati, Emma Robertson, and Alyssa Spielman. I do need Class 5 senior showman, age 16-year-old. Class 5 senior showman, age 16-year-old. Make your way to ringside at this time.
Another good class of seniors, and I think this young lady we're going to lead with kind of runs away with it. Right as she comes in, her body language and positioning is very good, and then she's quick to get that heifer shown, and then she's kind of doing some of those little things to pull that heifer's tail in and get her dialed in the right way. And I think she does an excellent job, and she surfaces in this particular lineup pretty easily for me. Congratulations. The young lady that comes in next, she does an excellent job getting that one shown. Feet are always set up right. I think just some of those little things that our class winner has that kind of separate the pair. But again, a very good job getting that steer's feet set up all the time. A good pair of them at the top of this lineup. The young lady with the Hereford steer that comes out next, she's got a ton of intensity. I love her ring presence. I love her attitude. Just there towards the end when we pulled that shorthorn steer out, I wanted to see her pull her steer up and get him repositioned and use the rest of the ring to kind of fix maybe some of the problems we were seeing in the way he was set up. The young lady with the shorthorn that comes out next, that steer's kind of battling her. We can see that she's a good showman. When she gets that steer set up, he's maybe dealing with something there in his chest that's making him act up a little bit, but good steer, and the young lady does a good job kind of keeping her head calm, dealing with him. A young man that we round off our class with, I talked to him, just got into a really deep class. When we were over here on the profile, I wanted to see him rock that heifer's weight forward just to kind of fix some of her posturing. But a good class of them all the way through. Congratulations.
Results of Class 4 Senior Showmanship, age 17. First was awarded to Alyssa Spielman, second to Emma Robertson, third to Maggie Rabiati, fourth to Tristan Kaiser, and fifth to Hunter Huff. Reading down the program, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We will be looking for Alyssa, Emma, and Maggie to be in the makeup area at the conclusion of Class 6. Again, Alyssa, Emma, and Maggie will be needed in the makeup area at the conclusion of Class 6. Entering the ring, I have 16-year-old showmen who include Torrin Bosley, Autumn Hammock, Brennan Harrison, Colt Henley, and Chloe Miller.
Another good class of seniors, and these two young men over here just keep consistently pushing their way to the top. And I think the young man over here to my right kind of comes in and keeps that steer set up. He's got his head placement good. I think he's a really solid showman and a nice place to land in this class. The young man that's going to be second, I think he's got a steer that's a little harder to show. The steer's got a few structural issues, but he's doing a pretty good job getting those shown out of him. I like his body language. He does an excellent job. Congratulations to those top two. The young man that comes next, another one that rivals him right up there at the top of this particular lineup. I think one that's maybe just got to circle a few too many times compared to those two young men that leave us. The young lady that comes in next, she gets that steer's back feet set up right. A few just minor things that her and I talked about, and then we'd like to see her tuck those steer's front feet a little closer into his body. And then the young lady that we round off with, again, kind of the same story. She does a good job, just a couple of those little things that her and I chatted about. Congratulations to all of them on another good class of seniors.
Results of Class 5, first to Torrin Bosley, second to Colt Henley, third to Brennan Harrison, fourth to Chloe Miller, and fifth to Autumn Hammock. Reading down your program, 15324. We are looking for Torrin, Colt, and Brennan to return to ringside at the conclusion of Class 6. For the selection of our senior semifinal 1 top 3. Currently, we are looking for the following 16-year-olds to ringside: Taylor Miller, Andrew Putnam, Caden Reed, and Lexi Zepp is in the ring right now. Sorry. Taylor Miller, Andrew Putnam, Caden Reed, and Lexi Zepp are in the ring. At the conclusion of this class, we need the top 3 exhibitors from Class 1 through 5 ringside.
really good pair of them at the top of this class, and it just comes down to a couple body language differences for me. But I think both of them do an excellent job. I just think the young man holds the advantage there. I think his position towards his steer is a little bit better. And then he does a very good job with eye contact and intensity while we're out here. Congratulations on a very good class winner. The young lady that comes in second, she does an excellent job getting the steer set up. He always looks his best out here. I think for me, like we talked about, a couple of body positioning things. Her and I chatted a little bit, but a very good pair of showmen that are extremely close at the top of this lineup. Young lady with the Hereford steer that comes out next. There's just a few times I see that steer with his feet tucked underneath of him. We want to make sure we've got those feet set where they need to be at all times. And then the young man that rounds off our class, kind of the same story. A steer that's giving him a little bit harder time today, but a calf that we just need to see more consistently set up appropriately. But a good class of them all the way through. Excited to pick your first division finalists.
In the ring at this time, we have the following exhibitors. From Class 1, 18-year-old Trevor Cole. From Class 2, 18-year-old Kylie Medlin. From Class 3, 17-year-old Lillian Bertier. Class 4 is represented by Alyssa Spielman. 16-year-olds from Class 5 is being represented by Torrin Bosley. And from Class 6 is Caden Reed, 16 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to pick a top 3 out of this heat. As we pick the first from a class, the second will come in. This is kind of a clean slate. Alyssa Spielman was pulled from Class 17. We're looking for Emma Robertson. Congratulations to Kylie Medlin. We're looking for Emily Fritz to return to the ring. We'd like to congratulate our top 3 seniors from semifinal Heat 1, Alyssa Spielman, Kylie Medlin, and Emily Fritz. Congratulations, ladies. We will see the 3 of you back at the end of the senior classes. Again, 18-year-olds, please do not change. We need you at the backdrop picture in show clothes at the conclusion of class 15. In the ring at this time, we're bringing our 15-year-old senior showman. We have the following exhibitors: Logan Barnett, Brady Black, Macy Cagle, Clara Collins, Michaela Durr, and Macy Eves. Again, 6 15-year-olds in Class 8. Attention intermediate and junior beef showmen, I encourage you to come ringside and watch how the judge is moving the cattle in the ring so you know what to do when you get in the ring. Please come watch our senior showmen and pick up some of their skills and how they're showing their cattle to help you when your class comes along.
Another good class all the way through, and I think something this entire class could work on is maybe the placement of our hand on our halters, okay? I think that's why we're losing a little bit of control over these cattle. We just need to move that hand a little closer into their nose to just get a little better control of these steers while we're showing them. That being said, I think the young man with the kind of roaned up steer that we're going to lead with, I think he just does the best job of giving me the most consistent quality look of that animal. I think that steer's feet are set up 90% right most of the time. I like his body language. He does a good job paying attention to where he's at, trying to keep as far back from that fan as he can to make sure his steer's behaving well. But again, congratulations on a good class winner. And then our young lady that's going to be second, she does an excellent job as well when we get that steer set up. There's just some times where maybe I don't get as good a look at him, okay? There's a few times his feet are out of place, but when you get him parked, I think you could rival our class winner very well. You do an excellent job. Congratulations. The young lady with the short horn that's going to come next, I think that's a steer that's given her some problems today. But when she gets him set up, she does a really good job. I think we just need to see that a few more times. I like her ring presence, and I like her attitude, but I think a steer we just need to see cooperate a little bit better at times. And kind of the same thing can be said about the young lady that comes next, and that steer's got a ring in his nose, so I'm sure he's a knucklehead, but I think a calf that we just need to see get his feet set up more correctly. But young lady, you do a good job dealing with him, and you've got a really nice steer. The young man that's going to come next, another calf that was giving him a hard time, but I think one we just need to see set up a little bit more appropriately at times. Sometimes those feet are just too far up underneath of him the whole time. And the young lady we round off our class with, kind of again, we need to choke up on that the chain a little bit, get our hand a little closer to our face, and I think that would allow you a little more control over that Hereford heifer. But again, congratulations to another good class of exhibitors.
Results of Class 8 15-year-olds is as follows. First to Logan Barnett, second to Macy Cagle, third to Michaela Durr, fourth to Macy Eves, fifth to Brady Black. Reading down your program, 1, 5, 2, 6, 3, and 4. Entering the ring at this time is Class 9 Senior Showman. We have 6 entries, including Ella Fritz, Jacob Frock, Rowan Kaiser, Nicole McDivitt, Lane Miller, Sydney Miller. From our last class, we will be looking for Logan, Macy, and Michaela to return to the makeup area for the selection of our semifinal Heat 2. Looking for Class 10, 15-year-old Showmanship, Class 10 to the makeup area.
Another good class, but I think this young lady that we're going to use surfaces really easily for me. She's cool, calm, and collected. That calf's always set up the right way. You know, we don't ever really get a bad look of her. But again, I think one that just does an exceptional job, kind of separated herself from the second she walked in the ring and got set up over here on our rear view. Again, congratulations on a very good class winner. The young man that's going to be second, I think one that we just need to see that steer maybe set up a little bit more appropriately at times. You know, there's times where we kind of get his feet offset a little bit. But again, I think a young man whose ring presence and body language is very good. We just need to adjust those feet at times. Kind of the same thing for the young man that comes next. Again, another one that does an exceptional job. Just for me, there's a couple times we just don't get the best look at that critter. But again, that pair between second and third is very close. And then the young lady that's going to come in fourth, she did a really good job keeping that steer set up the whole time. It's just when we pulled that fifth place out, I would really like to see her pull up and readjust herself because her steer could have used an adjustment to his feet at that point in time. The young man that comes out next, he does a really good job keeping the animal set up. Just would like to see a little bit better body language. And then the young lady that rounds off our class, I think there's just a few too many times we need to see that steer's feet set up more correctly. But again, congratulations on another good class of senior showmen.
Results of Class 9 is as follows. First to Ella Fritz, second to Lane Miller, third to Rowan Kaiser, fourth to Nicole McDivitt, fifth to Jacob Frock, sixth to Sydney Miller. If you're reading down your program, 1, 5, 3, 4, 2, 6. We will be looking for Emily, Lane, and Rowan to be in the makeup area for the selection of Heat 2 finalists, or semi-finalists Heat 2. In the ring at this time, we have Class 10, Senior Showmanship, age 15. We have the following 6 exhibitors: Ryan O'Meara, Haley Putnam, Levi Savage, Lillian Selby, Colt Smith, and Brooklyn Valencia. Looking for seniors in Class 11. Senior Class 11, please make your way to the makeup area. Thank you.
Really good pair of them at the top of this lineup. I think both these young men do an exceptional job, and I think there's some differences in the way they show, and you know, I think that there's just some differences in how they get these cattle set up. And I think the young man to my left, you know, he had to circle a couple times there, but I think when he comes in and gets that steer parked, I think he does the best job of getting his calf set up and keeping him looking the most appropriately the whole time. Now, there's some things I'd like to change from a body language standpoint on the way your body positions into the calf, but I think a young man that does an exceptionally good job of showing off his steer, and he does a really good job of that. The young man with the red calf that's going to be second, I think another one that does an exceptional job and probably holds an advantage in terms of body language. There's just a few times I'd like to see those steers' front feet fixed a little bit, but again, a young man that does an exceptional job. He's had this calf standing over here this whole time. Again, congratulations on those top two for being very close and very good. A young lady that's going to come out next, you know, a young lady that does a really good job. I like her calmness. I think for me, there's just the times when we got that steer too stretched out, okay, and we need to bring those back feet in a little bit to correct his body length some. The young lady that's going to come next, you know, she's doing a really good job keeping that steer under control. We need to pull our hand up on that chain a little bit just to get a little better control of that steer, get it right up next to his face, and that's going to help you out with some of those issues we're having. Young lady that comes in next, she does a really good job, and she's our first FFA showman that I've seen. But I think a young lady that this steer get down there in the corner, we need to get his feet out from underneath of him and stretch him out just a little bit. Good job. Young man that rounds off our class, that steer's just giving him a really hard time today. He does a good job keeping his cool and dealing with it, but a calf that we just really never saw set up because he was circling a bunch. But again, congratulations on another good class of senior showmen.
Results of Class 10 is as follows. Congratulations first to Levi Savage, second to Ryan O'Meara, third to Haley Putnam, fourth to Lillian Selby, fifth to Brooklyn Valencia, and sixth to Colt Smith. If you're following along in your program, 2, 3, 1, 4, 6, 5. We are looking for Levi, Ryan, and Haley Putnam to be in the makeup area at the conclusion of Class 12. We are now in Class 11, Senior Showman, age 14. I have the following exhibitors: Boyd Bechtel, Avery Becker, Zeke Frock, and Atlee Hoy.
really good pair of them at the top of this lineup, and I think the young man with the Hereford steer is just a little more consistent in the way he gets that calf set up. That steer's been parked over there correct the whole time. The young man's ring presence and body language is very good. Congratulations, young man. But the pair's really close, and the young lady comes in, and she's got a really good ring presence and a really good attitude. I think for me, though, when we pulled him up into position after we pulled our other ones, we wanted to fight him a little bit, and we circle him, and we need to get those front feet set up a little more correctly, okay? But I think a young lady that does an exceptional job. The top pair there is really, really close. Congratulations to both of them. We get into third, and I think this young lady does a good job of staying calm. She's got a calf that's a little more of a knucklehead today, and we just need to see him set up more appropriately at times. And the young man that rounds off our class. I like his calmness, but I think just need to change a few things in terms of ring presence and intensity. But a good class of them all the way through. Congratulations.
Results of Class 11, Senior Showmanship, age 14. First, Boyd Bechtel. Second, Atlee Hoy. Third, Avery Becker. And fourth, Zeke Frock. Reading down your program, 1, 3, 4, 2. We will be looking for Boyd, Atlee, and Avery to be in the makeup area at the conclusion of Class 12. As we process our Showmanship semifinal 2. This is Class 12. We have 3 exhibitors, 14 years of age: Audrey Miller, Mackenzie Reese, and Madison Young.
Into our final class of seniors, and I think we've got 3 young ladies that all do a really good job. But the young lady we're going to lead with the Hereford steer, I think she comes in with the right kind of intensity and ring presence, and then she gets that calf set up extremely appropriately. There's maybe times where we need to adjust his body, where he's positioning his weight, either pull him forward a little bit or push him back some. But young lady, you do an excellent job, and congratulations. Young lady with the baldy calf that's going to be second. You do a really good job getting that steer's feet set up. I think I just would like to see you with a little more intensity, a little more ring presence. But again, I think a really good job getting that steer set up consistently and appropriately. The young lady that's going to round off our class, she's doing a really good job. The steer's battling her a little bit. We don't always get his feet set up appropriately because of that. But again, congratulations to all three of them.
Results of Class 12 Senior Showmanship, age 14, first to Madison Young, second to Audrey Miller, third to Mackenzie Reese. We are now going to be selecting our top 3 from our 15 and 14-year-olds. Class 13 is Senior Showmanship, semifinal 2. We will be selecting the top 3 from the following exhibitors. From Class 8, Logan Barnett. From Class 9, Ella Fritz. From Class 10, Levi Savage. From Class 11, Boyd Bechtel. And from Class 12, Madison Young. At this time, I need Alyssa, Kylie, and Emily to start making your way to the makeup area. We need Lane Miller to return to the ring. Congratulations, Madison. We need Aubrey Miller to return to the ring. Congratulations, Boyd Bechtel. Your top 3 seniors from semifinal 2, Ella Fritz, Madison Young, and Boyd Bechtel. Congratulations. We're going to give you guys a chance to circle and come back in the ring. For those of you competing for champion senior, you guys are getting a clean slate, so make it count when you come in the ring. Your senior finalists are Kylie Medlin, Alyssa Spielman, Emily Fritz, Ella Fritz, Madison Young, Boyd Bechtel. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for these 6 senior individuals. Our judge will now be selecting your champion senior and reserve champion senior showman. While he does that, I'd like to announce a few of our beef department sponsors. Bounds Accounting and Tax Services, Carroll County Farm Bureau, Country Acres Angus, Gabe and Kelly Zepp and family, DBL Angus and DBL Angus Beef, Fountain Valley Farm, the Bechtel family, Eric and Shelley Boone, in loving memory of Jim and Sherry Claggett, the Garvick family, Brian and Melissa Garvick, J&H Poultry Products, James Garvick and Hannah Haynes, Kim and Drew Farm, and Perry, Mike and Wanda Rawlings, Lineboro 4-H, Maryland Angus Association, Maryland Print House, McGrew Equipment, the McGrew family, Nelson Ag Services, Patapsco Spring Landscape Management, R.F. Warner Sons Incorporated, Alan and Kate Warner, Rashi Brothers Farms, RICO Embroidery, Stone Valley Farms, Taylorsville Vet Clinic, Triple Creek Farms, Hayes Straw Beef, Green, and Black Angus Cattle, The Farmer's Wife's Design, Zepp's Tree Farm, Washington Farm, Ann and Mike Harrison, Julie Fieser and family, Wildlife Taxidermy, James and Maribel Wood, and Windsor Manor. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and thank all of our sponsors for the beef department.
Put your hands together for our senior showman. You know, a really deep set of kids all day. They've all done an exceptional job. You know, all of them. I just got a chance to walk through our finalists here and chat with them and maybe ask them a question or two about their project. And they all answered really well. And so I think you guys do a good job in this county of teaching these kids some basic animal science knowledge as well. But again, I think this set's been very, very good. But again, I think that there's a pair of them that suit me really, really well. I'm going to go out and shake the hand of your champion, and then we'll pick a reserve. But again, congratulations. All these kids do an awesome job, but I think there's two of them that just separate a little bit in terms of how they get their animals set up, and then you know, just ring presence and body language while they're in here. Again, congratulations to all of them. I'll go pick your champion.
Congratulations. Your champion senior showman is Alyssa Spielman, and your reserve is Miss Kylie Medlin. We're going to go ahead and move into our intermediate division with the following exhibitors in Class 13. Lloyd Arbaugh, Bridget Barber, Kinley Cagle, Addie Collins, Grafton Condon, and Josh Green. I need all 18-year-old showmen to the backdrop. All 18-year-old showmen to the backdrop. That would be the following 4-H'ers: Nora, Lucas, Brendan, Lucy, Elizabeth, Trevor, Riley. Emily Fritz, David, Rihanna, Cassidy, Kylie, Brooke Owens, and Sienna, all needed at the backdrop at this time. As we gather our seniors, take a moment to look at the backdrop as we share this thought. As you move on, it's not about the ribbons, for ribbons will fade and trophies will grow old. Money's soon spent and fame soon grows old. The important things are not the ribbons or the pins, and not really who wins. The important things are the friends you make, the experiences you take, working as a team, cooperation, and dedication. They'll help you become and do more for you than any prize ever can. We love you all. Best wishes.
a good way to start off our intermediate division, and I think we've got a pair of showmen at the top that kind of rise based on intensity and body language and ring presence. You know, they pull up when they're supposed to, and they come out here and with the right kind of intensity that we look for in a really good showman. But I think the young man with the black steer, I think he just pulls it all together. I think that calf's never out of position. He always looks really nice. I want to commend the young man for doing an excellent job getting that steer shown. The young lady with the red steer that comes in second, I think there's just times where we need to see that steer's back leg drive it back a little bit harder, just to make his rear, just like you did there. You know, we need to see that a little more often, all right? But I think a pair of them at the top that do an exceptional job. Congratulations to both of them. The young lady with the Hereford heifer that comes out in third. I think one that when she gets her stopped and stood still, she does really well, but there's times where we just fight her a little too much, okay? So we need to maybe not fight her as much and get her, when we're right there, you're doing an excellent job. Congratulations. Young lady that's going to come out in fourth, you do a really good job of staying calm. I love your attitude. That heifer's feet are always staggered appropriately. I think there's times we could pop her head up a little bit just to make her a little bit more attractive. But again, congratulations to all four of those. The young man coming out next, I'd like to see that steer's feet set up a little bit better, and we had just some handling things that he and I talked about, but another really good showman that has a good attitude out here. And a young man that rounds off our class, that heifer's just really being stubborn for him today. It's hard for him to get her shown when she's being a knucklehead. So again, congratulations, good job to all these young exhibitors.
Results of Class 16 Intermediate Showman, age 13. Congratulations to Grafton Condon. Second to Kinley Cagle. Third to Addie Collins. Fourth to Bridget Barber. Fifth to Josh Green. And sixth to Lloyd Arball. If you're reading down your program, 6, 4, 2, 3, 1, 5. In the ring at this time, I have the following 5 intermediates who are 13 years old. Aubrey O'Meara, Michael Rabiati, Delaney Smith, Reese Smith, Ridgely Turner. I'm looking for Class 18 12-year-old showmen to ringside, Class 18 intermediate showmen to ringside. I need the following last year's seniors to come and get my email for your bios for the sale tomorrow night. Nora Bechtel, Lucas Barnett, Lucy Bowers, Elizabeth Burns, Trevor Cole, Rihanna Granger, Brooke Owens, and Sienna. If Marie McCullough is here and Liam Hartner, if you could come also, I'd appreciate it.
Another good class of intermediates, and I think the young lady we lead with, I think she rises pretty easily for me. Just from a showman perspective, I think she's calm, cool, and collected. And then that calf's always set up right. He's not 1-2 right now, but while she's over here on the profile, that calf never gave us a bad look. She always had him set up appropriately and then showed some of his issues out of him as well. Young man, it's going to be second. He just does a really consistent job of having his steer set up appropriately. I think maybe not quite as much ring presence as our class winner, maybe not quite as much intensity, okay? But I think a pair of them at the top that do an excellent job. The young man with the Hereford steer that's going to be third, he does a really good job of having great ring presence and intensity. I think for me, though, we just need to fix those front feet at times. We need to get them pulled into his body and up forward a little farther to make that steer look a little bit better. The young lady that comes in next, when we were over here on the profile, I think those back feet just needed to be set up a little quicker, okay? But I think you do an excellent job. Your ring presence and body language is very good. The young lady that rounds off our class, she's got a really nice Hereford steer, and I think one that she's just battling that steer a little bit today, and it's tough to get them shown at times when they're battling like that. But again, congratulations to all of them on another good class.
Results of Class 17 is as follows. First, Aubrey O'Meara. Second to Ridgely Turner. Third to Michael Rabiati. Fourth to Reese Smith. And fifth to Delaney Smith. Reading down your program, 1-2, 1-3, 5-4-2.
Another good class of intermediates, and I think the young lady with our colored up steer over to my right, I think I just get the most good views of that steer. She usually has him set upright. She usually has him looking appropriate. And then I like her body language as far as just being cool, calm, and collected. I think she does a really nice job to win this class. And then I think it gets a little closer as we get into second, third, and fourth. But I think the young lady over here, I think she's working hard. There's a couple times that steer's feet need to be set up a little better on the back end. But I think a young lady that does a good job of working hard and mostly getting that steer set up appropriately. The young lady with the white heifer, I really like her intensity out here. She works really hard to get this heifer set up, but there's times where that heifer's feet need to be adjusted a little more appropriately. I'd like to see you pull her into her stance a little more often, okay? Use that show stick on her feet just a little bit less, maybe just to adjust her there at the end. The young lady that's going to come out next, she does a really nice job as well. For me, it's kind of when we got over here to the profile, you pulled a little too close into the calf in front of you. Would like to see you leave that calf a little more space and leave yourself a little more space to adjust. The young man with the red steer that we'll round off with, he's doing a good job out here dealing with this steer that's being a knucklehead. But again, it's a little bit tougher to get them shown when they want to be a knucklehead like that. But again, congratulations to all of them. Another good class of intermediates.
Results of Class 18 Showmanship 12-year-olds. First, Lorelei Barnett. Second, Ashlyn Harrison. Third, Emma Harrison. Fourth, Sarah Bauman. And fifth, Mason Frock. Reading down your program, 1, 4, 5, 2, 3. In the ring at this time, we have Class 19 12-year-olds. McKenna Henley, Madison Matthias, Jenna Rodkey, Kayla Rodkey, and Wade Smith. I'm looking for Class 20 Intermediate Showman, age 11. Hot off the press, hot off the presses. Because it is so much in demand, there will be a Beef Alumni Showmanship show-off this evening after the Beef Show. Immediately following the Beef Show, brush off your show sticks, find a halter and a steer, because we're going to do Alumni Showmanship tonight after the Beef Show. Kelsey is tuned in. She's ready to go.
another really good class of intermediates, and I think the young lady with the black steer in the middle, she rises pretty early and pretty easily for me. I think this steer is set up appropriately at all times. She always has him looking his best. You know, I've not yet got a bad look at that steer, and I think it's because she does an excellent job getting him pulled in and set up. She doesn't have to use the stick very often. She does a really good job. Congratulations, young lady. Young lady that's going to be next with the Hereford steer, she does a really good job of getting that calf set up. There's times I just would like to see him with his head popped up a little higher to kind of just pull his neck out of his body a little bit. But a young lady that does a really nice job at the basics. She gets that calf set up, he looks nice, and she does a really good job, and you can tell she's put a lot of time and effort in at home to get him haired up and looking that nice. Congratulations. Young lady with the white heifer that's going to come out in third. She does a really good job. I love her intensity out here. She's always got that calf's head up. There's just times for me where she starts to fight that heifer a little bit, and I'd like to see her maybe be, you know, a little calmer with that heifer at times, but I think a young lady that does a really good job and has great intensity. Young lady with the other Hereford steer out here, she does a really good job of staying calm and getting that calf shown. There's just a few instances where his feet are too far up underneath of him on his rear end. And the young man that rounds off our class has got a steer that's just fighting him a little bit. He does a really good job keeping a cool head and trying to get that calf shown, but it's always tough when they're giving him a hard time to get him shown appropriately. Again, congratulations. Another really good class of intermediate showmen.
Results of Class 19 12-year-olds. First was awarded to McKenna Henley. Second to Jenna Rodkey. Third to Madison Matthias. Fourth to Kayla Rodkey. And fifth to Wade Smith. Reading down your program, 1, 3, 2, 4, and 5. Class 20, intermediate showman, age 11. We have the following exhibitors: Lainey Mae Barnett, Corey Black, Leah Bosley, Georgiana Condon, Lucy Flynn, Cora Guyman, Josie Hammock. Miss Becky is here at the table, and she is starting an alumni showmanship list for beef. That will not happen until the conclusion of the beef show tonight. We are accepting nominations. Brush off those show sticks, find a halter, and be ready to go. Alumni showmanship tonight following the beef show.
Congratulations to another good class of intermediates, and I think the young lady with the black steer is an easy place to land. That calf's always set up appropriately. She gets his head up and always has him looking his best. I like her ring presence and her calmness. She does an excellent job getting that steer shown, and she should be commended for that. The young lady that comes in next, she also does a very good job. She's been a contender in this class from the very beginning. I think for me, it's when we get over here on the profile, there's a couple times where I'd like to see that steer's feet set up just a little bit better, but I think a young lady that does an excellent job and has very good ring presence. The young lady that's going to be third, I think she's going to continue to grow into a very good showman. Her positioning to her steer and just her body language in general is very, very good. I think we just need to get that calf's feet set up on his rear end a little bit better at times. We need to stagger him out. They're a little bit underneath of him and a little square than I'd like to see him today. But a young lady that I think has very bright days ahead of her. The same can be said about the young lady that comes next. I think a young lady that does an excellent job getting that big Hereford steer shown. Good job. Does an excellent job getting that big Hereford steer shown. He wants to kind of push her sometimes, and I think that's tough for her. Obviously, there's a weight advantage that he holds over her, but you know, she wants to push him around a little bit, but I think she does an excellent job. She gets his head up and can get him stuck when he calms down and wants to stand still. But I think two young ladies that have very bright futures as cattle showmen. The young lady that comes next, you know, she kind of got in a bind over here when we got on the profile, needed to circle out and got into a tight spot, but a calf that, young lady that does a good job, and I like her ring presence and intensity. She's out here working really hard. Young lady with the baldy calf that's going to come next. She does a good job of having a good time out here, and she's really enjoying herself, and she's done a really good job feeding that steer. I think for me, though, need to get that steer's head up a little bit, need to make him look more attractive. And the young lady that rounds off our class, that shorthorn heifer, is just giving her a tough time out here, makes it hard to get her shown. Congratulations to all of them on another job well done.
We'd like to congratulate the following 11-year-old showmen. First place was awarded to Georgiana Condon, second to Lady Mae Barnett, third to Leah Bosley, fourth to Lucy Flynn, fifth to Corey Black, sixth to Josie Hammock, and seventh to Cora Guyman. If you're reading down your program, 2, 5, 3, 1, 4, 7, and 6. In the ring at this time, we have the following exhibitors: Graham Hester, Natalia Klunk, Madison Laney, Emily O'Meara, Easton Smith, and Bentley Straitman. At the conclusion of this class, we will be selecting your champion and reserve champion intermediate showmen. I need all first and second places to the makeup area. Again, all first and second places in our intermediate division to the makeup area. If you need a reminder, that would be Grafton Condon, Kinley Cagle, Aubrey O'Meara, Ridgely Turner, Lorelei Barnett, Ashlyn Harrison, McKenna Henley, Jenna Rodkey, Georgiana Condon, and Lainey Mae Barnett. We're getting ready to select our champion and reserve champion intermediate showmen.
I think a challenging trio up here at the top of this class, but I think the young lady that we're going to go ahead and use just does it the most consistently. Her calf is always set up on the profile. She keeps his head up. She keeps him looking nice. And she's got a few more problems she's got to show out of this steer than the other two do, and I think she does an excellent job doing that. Congratulations, young lady. The young man with the Hereford steer that's going to be next. Between second and third, I think we get him a little more consistently on the profile, and then when we were on our rear view over here, I think we had him set up just a little bit better than the young lady in third. The young man does a nice job, and he's got a really nice Hereford steer. Congratulations. Young lady that's going to be third, she does a really good job, but I'd like to see you just pull in a little straighter over here on the profile, okay? We're kind of pulling in at a 3/4. I'd like to see you get on the side a little more, but a young lady that does a really nice job. The young man that comes next, he always had that steer set up in the corner. I'd just like to see him get that steer's head pulled up out of his body a little more, but a young man that does a really nice job. The young lady with the that comes in next. I think a young lady that has a good ring presence about her. One for me that just need to see that steer's feet set up a little more appropriately, a little more off. Okay, and then the young man that rounds off our class, that big white steer is just giving him a hard time today. Just kind of pushing him around. But a young man that's keeping his head cool and doing a good job out here. Congratulations to all of them, and I'm excited to pick our champion intermediate showman.
Results of intermediate showman, age 11. First was awarded to Emily O'Meara, second to Graham Hester, third to Madison Laney, fourth to Easton Smith, fifth to Natalia Klunk, and sixth to Bentley Straightman. Reading down your program, 253146. We are now going to select your champion and reserve champion intermediate showman. Starting from our 13-year-old, class 16 is Grafton Condon. Class 17 representative is Aubrey O'Meara. Class 18, 12-year-old is Lorelei Barnett. Class 12-year-old is McKenna Henley. Class 20, 11-year-old is Georgiana Condon. Class 21, 11-year-old is Emily O'Meara. We will be ready to start our junior division, age 12, class 24, at the conclusion of this class. Class 24, 10-year-olds, please start making your way ringside. Quickly, I'd like to introduce our judge today. Judge Matt Marion is from West Terre Haute. He was a member of the livestock judging teams both at Blinn College and Kansas State University. Matt and his family own and operate Coal Creek Diversified, a diversified livestock operation focusing on cattle and sheep production. Matt is also the ag education teacher at Terre Haute South High School. Put your hands together and thank Judge Marion for being here with us this week.
Put your hands together for our intermediate showmen. They've been working hard and doing an excellent job this afternoon, or this morning, I'm sorry. You know, I think all 6 of these individuals do an excellent job getting their cattle shown, and I think most of them rose to the top of their classes fairly easily for me. There were a couple tough decisions to make, but I think we've got some really good showmen to represent their particular age groups out here very well. For me, there's still one of them, though, that just does it to a little bit higher degree. They always have their calf set up. Their steer always looks really nice. I'm going to go out and shake the hand of your champion, and then we'll pick a reserve. But again, congratulations to all of them. I think there's one that just does it at a little bit higher level in terms of getting their calf pulled in and set up appropriately and having to use the show stick a minimal amount of times. I still have yet to get a bad look at their steer, but I'll go out and shake their hand. Again, congratulations to all of our intermediate exhibitors this morning.
Congratulations, McKenna Henley. We're looking for Jenna Rodkey to re-enter the ring.
To bring that young lady in with that nice Hereford steer for second in that class, and I think she fits right well into our champion selection drive. For me, she does an excellent job getting that steer shown. He looks really good today. That being said, I think there's another individual that does an exceptional job. Much like our champion, I haven't had very many bad views of their steer. This young person's been working their butt off in the ring this morning, and I'm going to go out and shake their hand for doing an excellent job and being our reserve champion showman.
We'd like to congratulate your champion intermediate showman, McKenna Henley, and your reserve champion intermediate showman was Grafton Condon. Into the ring at this time, we have 10-year-old junior showman, Wyatt Bowers, Sadie Frock, Cadence Hoy.
It's getting warm out here.
You have four classes of juniors, but they're small, 3 and 4 at a time.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
We'd like to announce that alumni beef showmanship is off to a flying start. First and foremost, our very own Ginny Chamberlain made the list. Jamie Hester quickly followed. Peyton Zepp, Sarah Flynn, Ethan Zepp, Reggie Huff, Dwight Spielman, and Lindsay Swain. You've all made the list, and we have a lot of hours to go. Attention in the barn, attention in the barn. We have 2 vehicles parked behind the chicken barn. They are trying to empty the dumpster. We have a pickup truck that's blue Chevy. We think it's the Arballs, a blue Chevy pickup, the Arball family. And we have a Tahoe that has a Simmons livestock tag in it. These are parked behind the poultry building, and we need to get the dumpster empty. They're here to do that now. These trucks need to be moved immediately. Thank you.
Three really good showmen, and to start off our junior division. But I think the young lady in the middle of the ring is just doing an exceptional job. You know, she's always got that steer set up. She's got his head up, very, very good. And she stays calm and cool, and I think she's got a really bright future as a showman as she continues to get older. Congratulations, young lady. The young man that's going to be reserved, he follows suit. That calf is always set up right. I think it's for me when we get over here on the profile. He wants to have that steer cocked out to the gate a little bit. I'd like to see him come in a little more on the profile instead of that 3/4. But I think both of them do a good job, and they'll probably compete with each other for a long time here at this county fair. The young lady that's going to be third, her and I had a little bit of a conversation about how to maybe handle that steer when he's being a knucklehead, and we need to turn him and get him spun around out in the middle. She's doing a really good job, but give all of them a round of applause for a good way to start off our junior show.
Results of Class 24. First, Cadence Hoy. Second, Wyatt Bowers. Third, Sadie Frock. Entering the ring now, we have Class 25, Junior Showman, age 10. Ryan Nelson, Ella Swain, Cabry Turner. Looking for Class 26, Junior Showman, age 9. Class 26 exhibitors to the makeup area at this time.
Another really good class of young people, and I think the young man we're going to use, I think he does it in the most calm package, and he's got his steer set up the most correctly, the most often, and I think he does a really nice job, and I think he's got a bright future as he continues to get older and get more experience. The young lady that's going to come next, I think both these young ladies are fighting these steers a little bit, but I think the young lady that we're going to use for second, I think she gets that steer set up a little more often, and I think she does a really nice job. The young lady with the Hereford steer that we'll round off with, she's done an excellent job feeding that steer this summer, and I think today he's just fighting her a little too much. She's had to circle a bunch, and we've had a hard time getting a good look at him. But again, congratulations to all of them, and I'm excited to see how they continue to grow as showmen down the road.
Results of Class 25, Ryan Nelson, Ella Swain, Cabry Turner. Into the ring at this time, we have the following 9-year-old juniors: Garth Condon, Everly Hester, Aubrey Laney. We do need Class 27 to make their way ringside: Robert Rashi, Taylor Smith, and Brooks Turner. Thank you.
Another really good group of showmen, and I think it's close between all three of them. It's just some little things that sort them out, but I think the young lady over to my left does an exceptional job. She has that steer set up appropriately at all times, and then she's really doing a good job getting him shown. Got his head up, get him looking right the whole time. Congratulations, young lady, on a job well done. The young lady with the big Hereford steer that's going to be second, she does a really good job at times, and then when we pulled over here to the side, she pulled in a little too close to that calf in front of her, and I'd like to see her adjust his rear feet at times when they get offset. But two young ladies that do an exceptional job. And a young man that's going to come in third, just a calf I'd like to see with his head up a little more often and pulled out of his shoulder a little bit. But I think all three of them do an exceptional job, and I think they're going to compete with each other for years down the road, and it's probably going to change over the years how these three are placed. But again, congratulations to all three of them, a job well done.
Congratulations to your 9-year-old showman. First went to Aubrey Laney, second to Everly Hester, and third to Garth Condon. Entering the ring at this time, we have our last class of junior showmen with Robert Rashi, Taylor Smith, and Brooks Turner. Oh, I'm sorry, we do have a class after this. We have an 8-year-old class, I apologize. So we do need Ansley brothers to make their way to the show ring at this time at the makeup area. We've had some additions to our list of alumni. Jenny Chamberlain, Jamie Hester, Peyton Zepp, Sarah Flynn, Ethan Zepp, Reggie Huff, Dwight Spielman, Lindsay Swain, Chet Stem, Kyle Schultz.
Another good class in our junior division, but I think the young man up in the front really solidifies himself as the class winner. He does an excellent job getting that steer shown appropriately. His feet are set up, his head's up. I think he's got a really nice calf that shows well for him, and you can tell he's put a lot of time in at home working on getting that steer set up. The young man that's going to come next, he does an excellent job with his ring presence. He keeps that steer's head up at all times, even though he's a calf that's maybe a little harder to keep the head up on. There's just times I'd like to see his back feet set up a little bit more appropriately, but I think a young man that does an exceptional job. We just need to fix that a little bit on his back feet. The young lady that comes in next, she does a really good job staying calm out here. That Hereford steer's pushing her around a little bit, but I think a young lady that does a really good job. Just want to see those back feet set up appropriately when we're over here on the profile. Good job, all of you guys, and I'm excited to get into our junior champion.
Results of Class 27, Robert Rashi first, Brooks Turner second, Taylor Smith third. We will conclude our Showmanship Junior Division with our class of 8-year-olds. This is Ansley Brothers.
This young lady's doing an excellent job as a single entry in our 8-year-old division. She's doing a really good job showing her steer named Cloudy. I really like that name, and she's doing a good job getting him set up. She's enjoying herself, and I'm sure she's going to be showing steers for a long time here in Carroll County. Again, congratulations, young lady. You do a great job.
We'd like to congratulate Ansley Brothers on her first place in Class 28. In the ring at this time, we're bringing the following juniors. From Class 24, age 10, is Cadence Hoy. Class 25, age 10, is Ryan Nelson. Age 9 from Class 26, Aubrey Laney. Age 9 from Class 27, Robert Rashi. And from our 8-year-old division, Ansley Brothers. Put your hands together for all our junior showmen today. I am looking for Alyssa Spielman, Kylie Medlin, McKenna Henley, Grafton Condon to make their way to the ready ring.
Put your hands together for our junior showmen out here. You know, like I talked about yesterday in the pig show, I think showmanship's really important, and you know, these juniors, you know, they're the future of your 4-H program here in Carroll County, and I think it's bright because they all do an exceptional job. They're all polite, and even if they maybe aren't placed where they want to, they are still cordial to me. All of them come and shake my hand, and I think that's really important too. That being said, I think that all these showmen do an exceptional job, but there's one for me that just kind of separates themselves in terms of getting their steer set up, always having them looking right, and then just showing off those extra features that steer has. I'll go out and shake the hand of your champion, and then we'll pick you a reserve. But again, congratulations to all of our junior showmen for a job well done.
Congratulations, Cadence Hoy. We do need Wyatt Bowers is returning to the ring at this time.
Kyle is so hard to get them lined up where they belong, and the kids just take it. They're told to move forward.
The second place to our champion comes in, and I think it's really close for reserve between him and one other kid. I think they both do an exceptional job, and I think it's really splitting hairs. I'll go out and shake the hand, the one that I think is the most deserving of reserve champion. Congratulations.
Congratulations, your reserve junior champion was awarded to Wyatt Bowers. We're going to give those juniors a chance to walk around, and then we will announce our champion showmanship lineup.
We do a grand in reserve, and then they'll leave, and we have 2 kids who've won previous years that need to come back out, and they'll do champions of champions. I don't think this committee does who wins this time. I think they'll just bring the 2 out from a bit before. Okay? Yeah, we're getting close. Kelsey, you made the list.
So we'll have pick a champion and
A grand and a reserve, yeah.
We're ready to pick our Grand and Reserve Grand Champion Showman at the 2026 Carroll County Fair. From your senior division, we have Alyssa Spielman. That's it. Let's clap for the young lady. She worked really hard to get here. Come on. Give another round of applause to our intermediate showman, McKenna Henley. One more time for our junior showman, Cadence Hoy. In the makeup area, your reserves from your senior division is Kylie Medlin. From your intermediate division is Grafton Condon. And from your junior division is Wyatt Bowers. In the makeup ring, we also need our champion of champion showmen, Kyle Reed and Jenna Stamball.
Put your hands together for all of our showmanship exhibitors this morning. It's a great way to start off our cattle show day. I think all of these kids have done an exceptional job, and every division was really competitive at each level. And I think all three of these young ladies represent their age groups very, very well. That being said, I think there's one of them that just does some of the extra things a little bit better in terms of posturing and then just being so calm and cool and collected when they're out here showing. I'll go shake the hand of your champion and we'll pick a reserve. But again, congratulations to all of them. They do an exceptional job.
Your grand champion showman is Alyssa Spielman. And into the ring, we bring Kylie Medlin, who is your reserve senior.
Our reserve comes in, and she represents that senior age group very well in her own right. I think it was really close between those two, so she's certainly in contention out here. I think all of them do an exceptional job. I'll go pick your reserve champion. Congratulations to all of you.
And your reserve grand champion showman is Alyssa Spielman. I'm sorry, your grand champion showman is Alyssa Spielman, and your reserve grand champion showman is McKenna Henley. We're going to finish up our show here this morning with our champion of champions, Showmanship. This division is for our 4-H'ers and FFA members who have won grand champion in the past, and they're returning now in our champion of champions drive. We have Kyle Reed and Jenna Stamball. Put your hands together for these two young people.
Put your hands together for our two previous champions. They're doing an excellent job out here. You know, I think they represent the past years very well, and they show out here why that they're in this particular division. Both of them are doing an exceptional job. I think it's really close between the two. They're both very good, and I'll go out and shake the hand of the one I think is doing just a little bit better job today. But congratulations to both of them on representing the year you won grand champion very well. Good job, young lady.
I'd like to congratulate our last year's senior, Jenna Stamball, for being named your champion of champions. We will have pictures at the backdrop at this time. Photos from the ring and backdrop can be found at kazphotography.smugmug.com.